Honorable Sri Hardeep Singh Puri ji, Senior Union Minister, all tunneling professionals present here, Tunneling Association of India and organizing committee, and on my personal account, we are all very grateful to you for your presence here. My greetings to the dignitaries on dais and all fellow tunneling professionals in the house, ladies and gentlemen. For the sake of avoidance of repetition, I will touch up only on a simple issue of the theme of the conference. Why did we choose this theme? You know, in relation to the climate change and sustainability, our national commitment in the form of Panchamrit promises made by our Honorable Prime Minister. I'll read out those. I hope all of you know Panchamrit is actually traditional mixture of 5 foods: milk, ghee, curd, honey and jaggery, and used at all auspicious puja occasions. These promises are non-fossil energy to be the level to be raised to 500 gigawatt by 2030. This is one promise. 50% of our need of energy need shall be through renewable source of energy by 2030. That is second promise. Reduce carbon emission by 1 billion ton by 2030. Carbon intensity economy to reduce by 45% by 2030 and achieve net zero by 2070. So these 5 promises, the national promises made by our Honorable Prime Minister, and then to achieve that, everyone has the responsibility. And since we were gathering here for tunneling conference, so we thought this will be the right theme for the conference. You know, the tunneling activities, they consume during construction as well as during the operation, consume natural resources. And therefore, there is huge scope of contributing towards those 5 promises, national promises. The activities of using the material in the form of cement, steel, water, and many more chemicals used in the project. Manufacturing of the equipments required for the activities, operating those equipments, transportation of material used for the construction, transportation of equipments, machineries, and I think one of the biggest area of concern is huge earth removed during the excavation required to be disposed of. So imagine all these activities contribute very largely to consume the natural resources and also use the energy. And therefore, it's clear that there is huge scope in tunneling industry for applying the principles of sustainability and contribute towards these national promises. The conference, therefore, focusing on these principles, we are deliberating this. Yesterday we have deliberated Again, today we will be deliberating, and I am very confident and sure that by the end of today, when we conclude this conference, we will certainly have very positive outcomes and positive approach towards the future tunneling projects. So, thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for also highlighting the thoughts behind choosing the current theme of our international conference, and also to sharing with all of us how it aligns with our Honorable Prime Minister's Panchamrit gift to fight climate change. Thank you for your address, Dr. Mangu Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, now the moment that we all have been waiting for a long time, I request our Honorable Chief Guest, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs and Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri ji, for the inaugural address, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here amongst all the domain professionals and global experts who deal with this very important subject in our urbanization process. I have the privilege of having served as the Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs. Now, the urban affairs part of it covers a wide variety of activities, including urban transport, and that's why I've had the privilege of knowing Dr. Mangu Singh ji and Vikas Kumar ji and others for many, many years, and I work with them on the processes that involve the metro system. I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Andres Marulanda to this important conference, and I would also like to utilize this opportunity to express my appreciation to him and through him to Mr. Andrew Dix, who is an international expert, and he is today present in helping and guiding the team that is working overtime to ensure that 41 of our people who are in that situation, that they will be soon, out of that difficulty and away. So I join all of you, and I'm sure millions of others who are praying and keeping our fingers crossed. And I'm sure that the combined efforts of the team on the ground and the good wishes of everyone will ensure that we have them with us hale and hearty. Let me start by also thanking General Ramesh, Ashwini Bhedeji, my colleague, and I used to be a civil servant, that's why I say his colleague, who is the head of the Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. Insofar as General Shri Ajit Gulabchand is concerned, I know him now in his present position. I've had the privilege of knowing him for many years, but I've known my family and his family go back, I think, longer than I would care to, would know, but he's a very dear friend. General Suresh Sharma ji, Shri S.K. Gupta ji, ladies and gentlemen, there are two things that I think require to be stated upfront in order to do context setting. And that is that if you had limitless land anywhere in the world and you had urbanization taking place, you would perhaps not need to do tunneling or any activity which is, I was just joking with my colleagues there, activity which is underground. Now I choose the word underground as very different in terms of nuance from if you were to say underworld, but that was never my intention. So all I'm saying is that you could have, now let's look at a city like Delhi. Delhi's population in 1947, when we became an independent country, was 22 lakhs. For those of my friends who come from outside, a lakh is 100,000. And no matter how much of an effort we make, Indians will always refer back to lakhs and crores. I spent many years outside. I had got surprised at lakhs and crores, but now I've also become a force of habit. From 22 lakhs, that population, it was actually not even 22 lakhs. It was at 8 lakhs or 800,000 people till the partition took place, and there was a rush of people from across the border, and it became 22 lakhs. Whenever we have the next census in India, which is very soon, that population, you can take a guess, will go up to what? 2 crores plus 3. Well, Mangu Singh is correcting me. He's probably right. It'll be closer to 3 crores, if not more. Now let me take the Indian scenario. India in 1947 had a population of 350 million, out of which the urban population was 17%. The UN has estimated that by 2050, we will have something like, that figure I don't agree with, it's phenomenal. We'll have 850 million people living in urban spaces. Now the land area doesn't change. You have that kind of a thing, you need to construct. I mean, in Delhi, if we were not to, Mumbai has benefited, the city grew upwards. Otherwise, you'll have horizontal, if it spreads out, you'll have concentrated, I don't like the word slums, but informal settlements. So these are tough choices you have to make. In my work as Housing and Urban Affairs Minister, I have the privilege of dealing with a lot of tunneling activity in the context of metro systems, but also several of the other schemes, and I won't go into those in detail, they're not relevant to the context. The Amrut scheme, the Smart Cities mission, several of them. Now they are looking at this whole issue. So therefore, any technical discussions that you have here, which have to do with climate resilience, which have to deal with finding of sustainable solutions, they apply across the board. And then when you bring knowledge and professional expertise from around the world, it serves as an incubation, as a laboratory for that knowledge to be utilized and replicated elsewhere. And knowledge and information are spreading so fast today, sometimes frighteningly so, but it is used to and put to good use in individual situations. As I mentioned, the one estimate says that India by 2030, when it finishes, when the world looks at the completion of the Sustainable Development Goals or Agenda 2030, India's population should be close to, population, I'm talking about the urban population. If it is 450 million today, it should be little above that. Unlikely that much, because then what happens that the populations grow, then the urban population also, there's a global tendency, the stagnating urban populations start coming down. But anyway, if you're looking at any population around 2050 of something like 750 or 800 million, that's a lot of people and it requires a lot of construction activity. I also want to just mention to you something that we are already doing. McKinsey, the international consulting firm, estimated, and this is not today, I think 2 or 3 years ago, that we construct something like 700 to 900 million square meters of urban space every year in India, which is equivalent to a Chicago. Now, and that would happen from between now and say 2020 onwards to 2030 or thereabouts. So the issues that we confront, and I think the part of the answer lies in meeting the demand for space and natural resources through underground construction and underground space expansion. So clearly now when we talk about vertical construction, we only think of construction above feet. It's time that we look at the conversation which is more comprehensive, which is below feet. In Amrut, which is one of the schemes under my mission, We have laid 19,179 kilometers of underground pipeline for drainage and sewage projects across the country. In the second phase of this mission, Amrut 2.0, we have an even more ambitious target of replacing 1 lakh kilometer of water network and 28,459 kilometers of sewer network. In the Smart Cities mission, we have added more than 2,500 kilometers of underground utility ducts and cabling through various smart road projects. These underground utility tunnels are being developed to reduce congestion caused by traditional above-ground infrastructure, such as overhead power lines and utility poles, and they have minimized disruption during maintenance activities. I now want to come to the metro activities. I think some figures were cited by one of my colleagues saying that India will be the largest metro network in the world. No, I don't think that's correct. With the current plans underway, India will be the second largest. And why I say this, please correct me, I think we have something like 900 kilometers of metro lines operational. We have another 1,000 or so kilometers of metro lines under construction, which means that we will overtake Japan, Korea, and the United States. Because if I remember correctly, the United States has about 1,500 to 1,600 kilometers of metro line operational, but it's a highly developed country, it's an industrial economy, and I don't think they need to add more metro lines or trains because they're already done that. But at the rate at which we are going, we should have more than metro lines, and let me assure you, I'm not saying it just because my colleagues Mangu Singh and Vikasji are sitting here, but our metro lines can count among the best in the world, both in terms of technology and the methods which we are doing. Almost 16% of the nation's metro network constructed after 2014. I always use 2014 as a template, as a watershed, because that's when Prime Minister Modi assumed responsibility. 2014, after that, 103.6 kilometers in 6 cities is underground. 103 kilometers of metro line in 6 cities underground, and 114.22 kilometers of metro lines are being laid underground in 10 cities, which will make it a total of something like 220 or 25 kilometers of underground metro line. Why do I use 2014 as a watershed as such? Because by and large, and I'm not making a political point in a professional meeting, by and large, urbanization in India before that tended to take place in a robust but haphazard manner. Most governments did not pay enough attention, which is a fact. And then when Mr. Modi, the Honorable Prime Minister, assumed responsibility in 2014, he saw this as a challenge, but he also saw an opportunity in this. And he decided to convert this opportunity. So if you look at the urban spend in the 10 years of the previous government, between 2004 and 14, again, I've got the figure in my head in lakhs and crores, it was 1,57,000 crores, the urban central interventions. When Mr. Modi became Prime Minister, the urban schemes took shape in June 2015, so they're about 8 years and 5 months or so old, and the expenditure has gone up from 1,57,000 crores many times over to nearly 18 or 19 lakh crores. But that is the attention being paid to urbanization. And the metro, I'm mentioning this only, the metro network is therefore very much a part of it. Today we are in the happy situation that every city in India wants a metro, to which I have to respond, I'm the fall guy, to saying, well, some cities don't need metros. You can have, other forms of transportation. But we have also found that where metro systems have been built, they are extremely popular. People are taking to them in a very positive way. I saw a figure the other day, which I think I also put on social media, that our daily ridership is what, 1 crore? Huh? Around 1 crore. I saw that it crossed 1 crore riders in a day. So a lakh is 100,000, and 100 lakhs is a crore, so if you have 1,000 crores, you know how much that becomes. But I promise to give you that figure. But it's huge. Delhi Metro today, I think, has a ridership of around 60-65 lakhs on an average. Now, our managing director of Maharashtra Metro was telling me about what's happening here, etc. But this is a story across India. All this requires a lot of tunneling. All this requires a lot of use of best practices. It requires sensitivity to the climatic factor, and we can no longer wish this away. There was a time when I used to live in the United States. I was ambassador to the UN. We had people in the political leadership there who used to say, no, they were climate skeptics. This is all not true. These are all lobbies operating. I mean, with what we see happening now around the world, I don't think anyone can take that position, even the erstwhile climate skeptics. But there is much that we can learn from leading global cities which have already embraced the potential of utility tunnels and implemented innovative solutions. When I was preparing for our interaction today, I just looked at a few. The GCANS project in Tokyo is an underground stormwater management system that includes a network of tunnels, storage tanks, and massive pumps. This ambitious project helps mitigate flooding in the city and is protecting millions of residents and infrastructure. The Crossrail project in London incorporates a 42-kilometer underground railway line, making it one of the largest infrastructure projects in Europe. I want to be absolutely clear, we are learning from these global best practices and are actively planning and implementing schemes to extend the scope of underground spaces, utility tunnels and metro networks. The central government, in partnership with the various state governments, is conceptualizing underground projects such as underground mining, water wastewater projects, dam tunnels in addition to metro tunnels. Plans are also afoot to use underground spaces for purposes such as public parks and residential or commercial use. The most important benefit of tunneling is that we are making our urban infrastructure and services more resilient. By moving vital services underground, they become less susceptible to damage during natural disaster, offering increased resilience and reducing vulnerability to service interruption. I would also like to add here that any process of learning, whether it is in the urban space or I also have the privilege of being the Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, we are learning on a daily basis. When you shift from fossil fuels to biofuels and to green hydrogen, which is the fuel of the future, again, I believe the underground space becomes equally important, and we haven't even understood or begun to understand the comprehensiveness of the task ahead. I mean, just to again do a little bit of context setting, I gave you the statistics on India's growing metro network. Let me also share with you some of our, although I'm petroleum and natural gas minister, I should be called a minister for energy transition. We have every day 60 million people going to the retail outlet to fill up their two-wheelers and three-wheelers. That's the kind of energy demand. We consume 5 million barrels of crude oil every day, 5 million barrels. And international agencies estimate that of all the growth that is going to take place between 2020 and say, and the next 20 years, 25% of that increase in growth will come from India. Again, I think that is an area where tunneling and all manner of, we have got gas pipelines, we need bigger, we'll have multi-purpose pipelines. All this is, I believe, not only work that needs to be done, but I believe for any outfit or any venture like yours, it is also an economic opportunity for the different agencies involved in that. The government is treating underground construction as an unlocked spatial asset. While these are preliminary stages, we are making efforts to make underground tunneling a more sustainable endeavor, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and moving towards tunnels sustainability. While tunnels are intrinsically more resilient to disasters such as hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, and ballistic threat, we need to reduce the vulnerabilities of underground structures to internal fires, explosions and flooding. Our current experience in Uttarakhand has also taught us valuable lessons about strengthening the resilience of our construction technologies to be able to better deal with climatic events. I am very happy to be here. I have perhaps taken more time than I had originally intended. When I first received an invitation to join this, I had a very persuasive Mangu Singh ji saying, please come. And I didn't tell him when he was talking to me. I said, what am I going to do in a tunneling conference? But then when I applied my mind that there are more aspects of the work of my two ministries with which I'm dealing that deal with work around tunneling, if not direct tunneling, than even I had understood. So thank you very much for giving me a patient hearing, and I wish you a very successful delivery. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Guest. Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your valuable inaugural address. Your words of encouragement and enlightenment means a lot to us and have been a guiding force and light towards the development being made in regards to urbanization. You also highlighted the issues probable to rise as we go forward towards further development and urbanization, especially in the underground spaces, and how, as a matter of pride, Indian metro rail network is amongst the best in the world. You also brought forth the way and plans forward. Thank you once again for your insightful address and guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely grateful for your presence and time to be our Honorable Chief Guest. And as a token of our gratitude, we would like to present with a memento. I would request Dr. Mangu Singh, President TAI, and Chief Principal Advisor DMRC to kindly present our memento to our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. Thank you once again, sir, for your valuable time and presence. It's a small token of our gratitude. Thank you, Dr. Mangu Singh. Ladies and gentlemen, now I request Shri S.K. Gupta, Co-Chairman Organizing Committee and Director Projects MMRC, to kindly present a token of gratitude towards our dignitaries on the dais. Token of gratitude to Dr. Mangu Singh. Thank you, sir, for your valuable time. To Ms. Ashwini Bhide, Chairman, Organizing Committee and Managing Director, MMRC. To Lieutenant General A.K.